How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Berger Ops Fishing. Today we have something a little bit different for you. I've actually been looking into researching shallow water anchor systems for bass boats. But for my application with this small boat, fishing small lakes, ponds, maybe once in a while being out on a good sized river, I think the shallow water anchor system really is what made the most sense. So I did a lot of research online and I kept arriving at the Stayput anchor system, which seems to be kind of the way to go. So basically what I did, I went online, I ended up calling up Matt at stayputanchor.com. He sent me a few different kinds of their transom mounts that I'm going to be showing you guys. So there's a flush mount. This mounts right up against the transom here, and then there's also a motor mount here that he sent. Hopefully you guys can see that. And so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the pros and cons of these two different style mounts. They also make an anchor system that goes right up here on the bow as well, mounts here, and then you can actually put a fiberglass pole down through there. So it's kind of cool. I'm excited. I think it's gonna help my fishing quite a bit. It's sometimes, even with a trolling motor, you just want to stay in one spot and not have to worry about getting blown around by the wind. And this is a nice, very simple, affordable way to do that. So I'm very excited to get this on the boat, and I'm definitely excited to use it. So stay tuned. I'll show you guys how easy it is to mount these up, and we'll go take it for a test. Here we go. All right, guys, so up first we have the classic transom mount from Stayput Anchor. This mount basically is designed to mount flush. You can see the mounting plate there. Basically is designed to mount flush on the back of the transom. So I'll show this to you guys here, kind of basically how this works. Give you kind of a side angle. So basically you can mount this right on the transom like this. One of the downsides potentially that you might find with this style is that there are 4 mounting holes that require that you drill holes in the back of your transom. The one upside to this is that it's probably a very strong and secure system. You have 4 bolts going through the back of the transom. You can through bolt them as well. The hardware that's included will not allow you to through bolt this style mount, but you can always through bolt it all the way through the transom. The reason why the hardware is included without the through bolting kit is that most boats, with this one being included, you can't actually get access to the transom. There's usually some sort of flotation back there, gas tanks, live wells, you name it, and it prevents you from actually being able to through bolt this style mounting system exactly where you want it. So some pros and cons. I don't think either option is really bad if you're planning on having it on there for a long time, and that's what you like. I would say this is probably the way to go, especially if you have a flat transom. I don't think you can go wrong. All right, so the next style anchor is actually the motor mount. This mount here actually mounts right up on the motor, just like so. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. So that mounts there. It kicks out basically where the pole actually goes through there. That hole is 9 inches away from the motor mount itself, and it sticks out off the back of the transom about 7 inches. And you can find those details online too. I think this is the style that I'm gonna go with. I have both of them here, but like I said, with the classic anchor, I'm not really sure that I want to drill holes in the back of my boat quite yet. And I might decide eventually down the road that maybe I want to take it off. If I sell it, I might want to put it on another boat, and I don't want to leave holes in the back of the boat for the next owner. So just something to think about. You can kind of bounce the pros and cons around. Make sure that your motor will actually fit and turn all the way with these mounts. I've already done the measuring, and I'm fairly confident that it will, so there's no problem there for me. But I just wanted to give you guys the pros and cons. All right, so like I said, I'm probably gonna go with the motor mount system at this point. One of the beauties of the motor mount style bracket that's put out by Stayput Anchor is that all you have to do is back these little nuts off on the back of your motor mount, and you put the bracket on there, tighten them back up, and you're basically ready to rock. It definitely can't hurt to put a little bit of maybe some 3M, like 5200 adhesive in and around the holes just to make sure that you're sealed up, but it's really that easy. I am gonna have to make a small spacer here. As you can see, the top part of my motor mount is actually thinner than the bottom part, so I'll probably space that out a little bit there with some washers. but that really shouldn't be that big of a deal. So anyway, I'm gonna cut right to it, set up the time lapse, and get going. Here we go. All right, so as you can see, I've got some washers on here to space that out a little bit so that it's even down here. So when I put this on, everything should line up. Not gonna lie, I did cheat before I turned the camera on. I already checked and made sure. All right, so we have our mount here. Now watch how easy this is. Basically all you're gonna do is find your bolt holes and slide that right up on there. And I think I'm gonna mount this in the furthest up position or topmost position. That'll just give me a little more clearance from the bottom of the boat. And I think it looks a little better. It kind of hides these old holes on the motor bracket. So that's what we're gonna do. So now that we got it lined up, we're just gonna put some washers on there, maybe a little more adhesive, and tighten it up. All right guys, so the bracket's back on here. I did have to adjust this a little bit to get this washer back on there, but it should be good. We're gonna put our washer back on there. We have our nuts. Put these back on. There you go. So it's pretty much that easy. So now that we got it where we want it, it's time to go ahead and tighten these right back up. There we go. So there you have it. So that's one side. I mounted up the starboard side first. Really, your process is just that simple. You're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. Some guys will put 2 of the motor mounts or stern mounts like I showed you earlier. They'll put 2 of those on the back of the boat. Some guys will put 1 on the back of the boat, 1 on the front. It's really totally your preference. So really, it's that easy. I even did more work than I really had to. I really didn't have to get into the adhesive and changing the bolts and different things like that. Really, you can just back the nuts off and reinstall them. But it's super easy process. I'm gonna do the other side real quick, and we're gonna take this to the water and try them out.